What's up, guys? Today let's take a look at Mafex number 279 BRZRKR B. What a ridiculous name. I think it is supposed to call Berzerker, and this figure released about a week ago in China, so about a bit over a week before the Japan official release. It used to be pretty common, right? In China, we got SHF and Mafex figure before Japan. No, not so much. As far as the figure itself goes, I think for a Mafex figure, it is pretty good. Probably one of the better ones. There is definitely someone who worked at Mafex that really like Keanu Reeves, because otherwise I don't think we're going to get this figure, especially given the effort being put into this one. It's clearly more effort being put into compared to their regular figure. All right, so without further ado, let's take a look at the figure. First, let's take a look at the face. Yeah, it's definitely a very Mafex style face. You can tell this is Keanu Reeves, but in comic style. Focus, please. I like this little line between the elbows. Usually Mafex has a pretty soft face sculpt, even for comic character, but I like this one so far. The hair strand it's okay. It's just bare plastic, no paint or wash on it. Same goes for the undersuit, the black part of the base body, just black plastic. I wish they put a at least a matte finish on it or some detail painting on it. Right now, it's just a block of plastic, so it looks a little bit cheap, but the pouches and little dings, knuckles, are painted. So again, they're painted nicely, but a wash or shading will bring it to life more. Okay, it looks a little bit cheap, to be honest. Like, if they have this kind of wash all over the body, it will look better, especially considering that this is a comic character. Okay, should have more shading, but whatever paint there is pretty nicely done. Mafex used to have pretty sloppy paint, but this is not the case. And the overall proportion definitely looks like Keanu Reeves. Sorry, this is B, not Keanu Reeves, but you know what I'm talking about. So yeah, I think for a Mafex figure, this looks pretty good. Lacks a little bit of paint, but in terms of proportion and finish, it's good enough. All right, let's take a look at his articulation. The head can look up only a little bit because of the hair. Look down, okay. Tilt. It's all right. The hair is soft, but the color is not. So I think like they should definitely put a soft color here. Okay, rotation, no problem. Butterfly joint is one of the design I don't really like about this figure, because I think, in my opinion, they should cut around the strap instead of here. Okay, because as you can see, he doesn't really have much butterfly range. Now, for a gun wielding character, I have said many times before, you need both a good butterfly joint and ball hand wrist. He doesn't have a good butterfly joint, but since he has a ball hand wrist, he can hold the gun like rifle shooting pose okay-ish, so I'll let it slide. Okay, since this is a ball joint, you can wiggle all around, and you can see the butterfly joint come back and forth. Raise 90 degrees, you get rotation at the bottom and rotation here, and biceps over here. They're all pretty creaky though, so you might want to put a little bit lube on it. Double jointed elbow, functional and decent looking. Ball hand wrist, standard stuff. Let's see the diaphragm joint. All the pouches has a little hinge on it, see? So they can go out of the way pretty nicely. Also pretty creaky, the diaphragm joint, and crunch forward this much. Back, pretty much nothing. Side, also limited. And rotation, ooh, very creaky, so I'm definitely going to lube it. Waist joint. Mainly because the diaper is soft and the belt is not glued on the front but on the back, so it can go out of the way. So he can crunch forward at the waist pretty nicely. Going back a little bit. Side is okay. So combining with two joints, you can crunch forward pretty nicely. Back is not bad. Side is okay. Now the hip joint, these two straps are floating piece, okay? And there's a small peg here connected to these two loops, and the loops are really big, so it shouldn't hinder articulation too much. Let's see, the usual drop down, okay? Can kick forward over 9 degrees. Back a little bit. Side about 70 degrees. Side swivel is super limited. I definitely think that in this case they should put a side cut around here, because this kind of pant can hide the cut pretty nicely. Double joint knee, it's okay. And no swivel, again, I think it's a missed opportunity, not because of the articulation, of course, mainly for the scope, because he already has a ball hinge ankle, so he can rotate around here, okay? Go back, forward, rocker, really good, so that's nice. Rotation, no problem, and toe joint nice and stiff and cut really nicely. So in terms of articulation for a Mafex figure, the downside is, of course, the looking up is not very good, but that's mostly because of the hair, and the butterfly joint could be designed better in my opinion. But otherwise, he articulates fairly well. Yeah, so let's take a look at his accessories. For head, he comes with 3 extra. This is the one with glowing eyes. It is the exact same scope as that one, just eyes painted differently. Okay, then you got 2 Gritty's head. Again, exact same scope. The only difference is that one has glowing eyes, one got regular eyes. Let's see the neck articulation with the new head. Yeah, looking up is slightly better with the wing swept hair. Okay, you got a absolutely boatload of hands. This is gripping hand, another gripping hand. I think this is bigger gripping hand, and the third pair of gripping hand. This is even bigger. You've got a relaxed hand, a pair of trigger finger hand, another pair of trigger finger hand. These are with bigger grips, so it's for the rifle. A pair of clawing hand, outstretched hand, and probably gun support hand or big gripping hand. 4 weapons. This is his comically oversized assault rifle. I think there's a little bit of paint on the scope, although it's just black. You can look at how big the gun is compared to a Action Force shotgun. It is definitely very oversized. A small pistol. And for the muzzle flash, we've got a big one for the assault rifle and a smaller one for the pistol. Okay. Spiked club. Katana. A pair of dagger. I don't know how to call this. A weirdly shaped blade with a little bit of detail on it. And another one. A crowbar. A two-handed sword. And a grenade. And the typical Mafex stand. Nothing special about that. And this is him with some of his weapons. And he does look really cool. You can once again tell that he got the preferable treatment because he got the pretty much twice the accessories as a regular figures, and they price the same. Compare this figure to, for example, the Knight for Robin, and the differences is staggering. And he isn't designed so poorly like a 2015 SH figure art like the Peacekeeper here. If I were to add anything, and I'm not suggesting that he lacks accessory, but if I can add a few, I would probably add a battle damage head and a severed arm, just like my Fallen toys, because he is supposed to be a undying, immortal, super regenerative warrior, but he looks a bit too clean. And also add some weapon storage on the body because he doesn't even have a holster for the pistol or the dagger. Alright, let's take a look at the size comparison. With Mafex Solar Suit Superman, Territory is Invincible, Stone Arena Nash, and this is Operation Monster Force, Commander, whatever, can't remember the name. With UPF Arkham Knight, Marvel Legend Movie Wolverine, this is Mafex John Wick Chapter 4, I think, and Amelia Yamaguchi Arkham Knight Nightwing. And if you want to swap the head between these two, it sort of works, but either the ball socket or the ball peg is not compatible. The head doesn't click in, so yeah. With Sexy Eye Smasher, CCI Sam Fisher, SH Figure Art Billy Kid, and in art Battle Damage Arkham Origin Batman. So yeah, I think this is a pretty good release from Mafex. I just noticed that the neck's a little bit too long with the flowy head, but it's not a big deal. Anyway, yeah, pretty solid release from Mafex. Probably one of the better one of this year. Although I still think that their prices is a bit too high, and for this figure in particular, the value proposition is really good for a Mafex figure, but I still think he lacks a little bit wash and paint and shading to give it more of a comic book feel, and he could articulate a bit better. But once again, for a Mafex figure, this is a pretty good release, and if you like their figures, this is a recommend. Alright, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.